In this WrestleTalk news, Randy Orton shoots hard on former NXT talent. Is Cody backing out of his WWE deal? And backstage news on Triple H's emotional reunion with WWE talent, plus loads more. So subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
The Friday before WrestleMania and April Fool's Day falling on the same day means that wrestling news is an absolute minefield today. What are the real backstage rumblings about the biggest show of the year for WWE, and what are stories like Seth Rollins going to be wearing a suit entirely made of chorizo at this year's Mania? It's too hard to tell. So it's always best to lean into interviews which can be watched back to check that they're not just a silly prank. One person who has proven himself pretty good of late at getting WWE talent to talk candidly about their careers and their lives is Pat McAfee, who right off the back of having Vince McMahon on the show for his first live interview in 15 years, managed to get the Viper Randy Orton into the hot seat. Now Randy was there to promote WrestleMania 38, the most stupendous show of all time, and used the opportunity to praise his former partner and rival Edge for being trained in the old school ways. He said, "There's an art to what we do and a lot of guys have lost that art. Now, instead of selling a punch because you need to sell a punch, now I'm protecting myself because I don't want to get my jaw broken. That's unfortunate, but the art of professional wrestling, like when Vince was on, he talked about your #1 priority above all being protecting your opponent. That's not taught necessarily in NXT." So he's kind of calling NXT dangerous then. He then, in an effort to promote WrestleMania, remember, essentially slagged off half the current WWE roster by saying, "I know that because I've been in the ring with guys that came from NXT and they don't know what the they're doing." It's unfortunate, but I think that is just kind of how things are changing. Now earlier this month there was a worry that Orton was injured after taking a dodgy frog splash impact from former NXT star Montez Ford, so maybe this has all just been on his mind. Ultimately though, a lot of NXT stars do work a little bit stiffer because that's what flies on the independent scene, and it can be done mostly without injury. There must also just be sort of like a mathematical element to this too, like if someone fake punches you in the head 220 nights a year, a percentage of that time, a very small percentage mind, that punch might accidentally connect. Then you get the Brock Lesnar punching Braun Strowman in the head thing. Bop. Anyhow, the man Orton should be talking to about all of this is Triple H, because NXT was his baby after all. If things weren't being taught there, it's because he didn't want them to be taught there. Now Trips is back on the scene in WWE after taking time out following a cardiac event, but has had to retire from in-ring competition completely. However, he appears to be back working in the company properly to some degree, according to Fightful Select, who said that at a talent meeting in Dallas, Texas ahead of WrestleMania, John Laurinaitis told those in attendance that he had a surprise guest for them, and then introduced Triple H, who hasn't been seen by most talent since August last year. Now word is that many were elated that Triple H was there for the meeting, and it was quite an emotional reunion between Trips and the roster, many of whom obviously came up through NXT, and then it punched him in the head. Paul from the back office then introduced Nick Khan, who gave some business updates to those in attendance and told talent that they will now make additional revenue on top of their superstar contracts from third-party platforms such as Cameo, autograph signings, scripted and unscripted programming. That's good. Several wrestlers also told Fightful that it was a unanimously positive meeting and a great way to start a big weekend. Well done, WWE. Good meeting. Interestingly, Triple H was also spotted at WWE tryouts in Frisco, Texas earlier this week, so it looks like he's properly getting back into the swing of his role. Somebody else rumoured to be getting back into the swing of things at WrestleMania 38 is Cody Rhodes, who, as we all know now, is apparently making the jump to WWE once more. Or is he? Because according to Dave Meltzer, who was speaking with Denise Salcedo on her YouTube channel, go there, support Denise, she's great, Dave said that some people close to Cody Rhodes reckon he might back out of the deal. What? Speaking about the Cody surprise at Mania, he said, "Everyone expects it and they kind of have to deliver it, I suppose. If it's not him, it's his choosing, it's not theirs," meaning WWE. They believe it's him, they believe that's the guy. If, for whatever reason, he backs out, because he's gonna back out, I don't expect that to happen, but I know people close to him who do, so what the hell? We'll have to see how it plays out. So Meltzer says that WWE think that Cody is the guy to come out and go toe-to-toe with Seth Rollins, but if he were not to, then it would be a sign that it was Cody who walked away from the deal and not WWE, as they are 100% on him, seemingly. And some of Cody's close personal friends, whatever, expect that he might back out of the deal. I don't know. Not 100% on his WrestleMania opponent is Seth Rollins, who has been teasing all sorts of names as his upcoming rival at the show of shows, including someone who currently works for AEW, but as reported yesterday, may be looking for new opportunities when his contract comes up shortly. Seth tweeted #WrestleMania with a gif of Marco Stunt, which, while clearly a bit of a joke and a bit of a play on yesterday's news, I think actually would be a pretty good match. I'd watch it. But I mean, come on, it's probably Cody, even if people close to him think he's gonna walk away. WWE certainly seem to think it's Cody, as they've released 2 new shirts in their marquee Classics collection yesterday, featuring none other than the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Cody's dad. Now, obviously, there is never a bad time to honor somebody who has been so influential on the business, but those shirts dropping 2 days before his son is rumored to return it doesn't feel like a coincidence, does it? I'm not a big fancy detective. Did they wear suspect? I don't know. In other WWE news, another man on the WrestleMania card is AJ Styles, who was reported to have re-signed with WWE in February, penning a brand new big money deal. Styles has since clarified while in conversation with Alex McCarthy of Inside the Ropes, saying that he didn't sign a new deal, he just extended the contract he already has. He said, "Let me make one thing clear, I didn't sign anything recently. I had something on my contract where I got to decide, kind of a player option, what I want to do, and we just extended the contract that I already had." And this could be raw speculation from me, but maybe AJ took the player option because AJ's wrapping up on his in-ring career, and a new deal would have been years worth of in-ring time with the company, while an extension may be a more reasonable, a more easing into retirement extra year or so. Now, AJ's certainly thinking about his farewell to the biz, telling Alex, "Time is running out as far as AJ Styles is concerned. I am getting older. The ability to put on great matches is getting a little bit harder. I don't want to embarrass myself at the same time. I want to get out while I can and still have somewhat of a legacy." The Mania train keeps on chugging as eagle-eyed fans and journos in Dallas keep spotting various talent knocking about the place. 2 names who are said to be among the wrestlers WWE brought to Texas for the show are Bayley and Asuka, both of whom have been out injured for some time. Now, Bayley tore her ACL in mid-July during training, and Asuka underwent shoulder surgery and is reportedly ready for a full-time return. But there is no word on whether either will make an appearance on either night of the show, but there is also the potential for a Raw post-Mania return, I guess. Now, neither are booked for WrestleMania panels at Superstore Access, so that does leave the reason why they're in Dallas as a bit of a mystery and probably points to a return. Either way, PW Insider have reported that they are in town, so that is good. Hopefully we see them both back on screen soon, like, I don't know, Monday latest, please and thanks. Now, of course, the sheer scale of WrestleMania is unmatched in the wrestling world, and WWE and their talent, they know it. That is why Paul Heyman has been talking it up while on the Sports Media podcast with Richard Deitch. Interestingly, Heyman said that he does keep up with AEW and thinks it is worth putting over a rival product if they do something worthy of praise. He said, "I have no problem putting AEW over if AEW does things that's worthy of being put over. I don't live in a bubble. I would also offer to anybody that wonders why I would be so willing to put over the competition. If you look at WrestleMania and you look at the fact that over the course of these 2 days, WWE has sold more tickets to this event, this WrestleMania, than to any other event in WWE history." Now, this is where Heyman's sheer promo talent and genius kicks into gear, because building the other person up so that when you beat them, you look amazing, because there is no point beating somebody beneath you. He just went on to say that AEW basically isn't on WWE's level. So I would argue the case that I could sit here and praise AEW all day long. They can't match what we're about to do next weekend. And until they are in a position to match what we do next weekend, I'm not concerned with praising the competition, because they're still a long way from what we do and our level of success and our market dominance. Some of that, Tony Khan. I mean, Heyman does have a point though. It doesn't mean that WWE is better, it's just more capitalist. And that's what's important, kids. Happy April Fools.
Yeah, and I think what you said about it being the film that you would have got in the 90s is very, very accurate, because there's something about it which is very playful,
yeah,
and I think joyous. That
it's a kids' film.
It's a kids' film, exactly. It's a proper family film that hasn't. I think a lot of the family films try too hard these days to be, but the parents,